I'm in a dreadful, dreadful hurry. So today's foundation is the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation. Now, as I'm in a hurry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my foundation very quickly and my makeup. And when I get back from my hospital appointment, which is what I'm rushing to, this, by the way, is Wonderglow, I will talk you through the foundation and tell you a bit about it. Okay, but just so that you can see me applying it, I'm going to be quiet as I do it and put it on speed through, okay? I wish I could put myself live on speed through as well. Okay. So I'm going to apply this foundation with a beauty blender. Just wanted to say that I was applying this with a beauty blender because I was in a hurry and because it blends it quickly. But I actually think that this foundation applies better with a flat foundation brush. I'm going to speak for a minute. I'm going to really annoy myself editing this. Can you see what I was saying yesterday to any of you that watched my shopping guide? This is NC 35. And can you see how it's cooling me down from my warm complexion? See that cheek and that one? It's not making me warmer, it's cooling me. And that's why I am starting to think whether I should go to a foundation that is more for cooler tones or more neutral so that it actually warms me up a bit. Because in the past what I've done is I've gone a shade up to try and compensate, and that's when you start to look orange. So if your foundation is looking orange on you, it might be worth going a shade down and going more to the cooler side. So for warm, I can't think, I'll talk to you about it later. I actually got this right, even though I was in a dreadful hurry and was confusing myself. So you'd go a shade down and you'd go for a shade that is for a cooler complexion, which would warm up your skin tone a bit more without looking orange. Okay. Okay, Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And this is in light medium. Becca under eye setting powder. Just dab it. And then RCMA no colour powder. Sprinkle some on the table, and I'm actually going to put this on with a damp beauty blender in the middle of my face, and then swipe it all off. So kind of a semi-bake. Just picking some up to put on my... Okay, so I'm not going to speed this bit up because I'd like you to see how great these colour chameleons are when you're in a hurry. You can see what I do in a hurry. Dark pearl, colour chameleon. Then some mascara. Okay, my Filmstar Bronze and Glow is out of reach at the moment and I've not got time. I know where it is, but I haven't got time. So I'm using the dark one, which is fine because it's going to give me a little bit more colour. And I'll just go in with my Real Techniques brush, which doesn't put it on as heavy. The highlighter looks more like a blush a lot of the time, but it is and it isn't. It sort of looks orange, but when you put it on, it looks sort of more golden. So I just put that on with the setting brush. Says she, which makes it look just like a blush. Okay, and when you haven't got time and you want to look polished in a hurry, use a nice bright lip, and I'm using In Retrograde by MAC, which is liquid, so it'll stay on. Okay, see you later. I'll be right back. As if by magic, I've returned. Now, have no fear about this lipstick. It does look like it's worn off, but actually it's not the lipstick's fault. When I'm driving, I always chew my lips. It's a really bad habit. I do this. So actually, it's me, not the lipstick. Okay, so I'm just going to top that up and I'll be right back. Okay, I just want to start by showing a bit of gratitude to my other half. Not that he ever watches this, but still, never mind. This morning I got up because I had to go to this appointment, and it's actually at a hospice, even though it's sort of connected to the hospital. And I normally take a cab there because there's not that many parking spaces, and with it being a hospice, I don't like to use the parking spaces because there aren't that many. And obviously people are visiting people that are very unwell. And this morning I got up and I said, oh, I've got to go there again. And last time I basically sat for an hour trying to hail a cab coming back, because people see the scooter and they ride past, and literally some of them have actually pointed at the scooter and done that. It's really bad, I know. And my other half said, you're right, people do need the parking space. You need the parking space, right? You know, you need it. You've been achy all week since I came back, more than achy, and you don't need to be sitting for an hour waiting for a cab. He said, you need the parking space. And of course he was right. And I drove there and there was plenty of parking spaces. And I went in and said, I'm sorry, I've used a parking space. And they said, that's fine. Moral of the story. This is going back to yesterday and me saying, I still feel like the me that was 20. And I've got to get that out of my head and start helping myself a bit more. That's what he said to me. This is about time you started helping yourself. Anyway, he doesn't talk like that, by the way, but you know, comedic effect. Now, I've got to get on because I've just had an email to say my little boy is coming back and he's going to be back at 1:45. So it's rush today. So it's going to be remain the very minimal makeup look. But I now can tell you about the foundation. Okay, so this is what it says on the website. So first of all, there's 33 shades of this foundation. Here it is. As you know, I always keep things in boxes because I think they last longer. And that is it in the tube. You get how many mils? 25 mils. which is 0.84 fluid ounces, which is slightly less than other foundations. You normally get 30 mils and 1 fluid ounce. I hadn't noticed that before. It's £28 from MAC. You can get it slightly cheaper from other websites I looked at this morning. 33 shades. So there's 11 NW shades. So that's, as you know, if you watched yesterday, if you are cool toned. And 12 NC shades for warm to neutral to warm. And 1 shade that is just neutral, but it's quite a fair neutral. Otherwise I'd have been tempted to get it and mix it. So the total of 33 shades, and this is what it says on the website about the foundation. A tenacious waterproof formula that can be used as a foundation or concealer wearing for an unprecedented 24 hours. Neither rain nor tears can budge this oil-free, watertight product that actually repels moisture from the surface of the face. The formula blends seamlessly on the skin with medium to full weightless coverage and a natural satin finish. Key claims and benefits: water resistant, transfer resistant, long wearing 24 hours, provides instant and long-term hydration, oil free, provides stay true colour, dermatologist tested, non-acnegenic, ophthalmologist tested, and for all skin types. Okay, I need to test this transfer resistant because I've never actually done that before. So I'm going to get a tissue and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to press this tissue onto my face and see whether it brings anything off. A little bit, to be honest. But that may have been the powder, but that was no colour. So not completely, but not too bad. Let's try the other side. Oh, it didn't bring any off that side. Try my nose. Probably would bring some off my nose because, no, I don't know what was going on there then, because it hasn't brought any off anywhere else. Let's try my forehead. No. So for some reason it brought some off there. Maybe I put too much on. And I'll try my chin last but not least. And nothing came off my chin. So I'm not sure why that was. Now the reason I bought this foundation was I went into MAC a while back, and you know that I was suffering a lot from watery eyes, which is kind of, I hate to say that they're calming down because the minute I say it, they're going to start again. But I basically said, what foundation do you sell that is waterproof? And she said, this is the one that is waterproof. Now I've had this on now. I put this on, so it would have been, by the time I finished doing the makeup, about 9:30, and it is now 12:30, so 3 hours. And as you can see, it's not budged. My eye did water a little bit, that side, and probably a bit the colour chameleon has smudged, but not the foundation. So it's holding up really well. My nose doesn't feel oily, which is the first place to get oily. My chin doesn't feel oily. I mean, if my chin or my nose were oily, then some of the foundation would have come off. So it, as you can see, it does wear well. And often, just to remind you guys, often when I wear this foundation in a review of something else, you guys say to me, what was that foundation? It was looking really nice. So yeah, it's a good foundation, I think. So I'm going to check in with you later, and you're going to hear someone in the background. I won't spend too long checking in with you guys because I've got a lot to catch up with. My little man's been away for a whole week. But I will come back and check in with you later, and maybe Jack will say hi and tell you a little bit about his trip. Okay, so see you later, and yeah. Okay, sorry, what I didn't do earlier on, I will see you later in a minute. What I didn't do earlier on, because I was in such a hurry, was to zoom in on the foundation. So this has been worn for 3 hours, but I can assure you it hasn't changed since I applied it. So I'm going to zoom in on my face so that you can see it close up. Okay, see you later. Hi everyone and welcome back.
And hi!
He's back! Do you want to tell him about your holiday? Doesn't he look well? Look at those flushed cheeks. You can tell he's been in the countryside. Tell him something. Tell him what you got to do.
You mean like one thing?
Yeah.
We tried to wait 12 pigs, but it took like about an hour and we didn't even do them all.
He was weighing pigs.
For a whole hour!
And herding sheep and feeding horses, everything. And he's had a great time. Anyway, a quick check-in with you guys. It has now been 9 hours since this foundation went on. You can see that my eye is watering. It's not really affecting the foundation. It is affecting the colour chameleon a bit. But it's not affecting the foundation. My nose is getting a little bit oily. But after 9 hours, I'm not going to complain too much about that. But it is getting a bit oily. Other than that, it's stayed on really well. I think you can see that. I'm just going to zoom in. Now the colour chameleon, you can probably see, as it was doing earlier, it's split a little bit. Now what I do with the colour chameleon is it does tend to do that throughout the day. If you don't set it with powder, that is. If you set it with powder, that's not going to happen. But if you just do that and rub it again, it will blend right back into the creases and it looks as good as new. Okay, so I think after 9 hours I think I'm gonna say call it a day. I will say, as I probably said in the voiceover earlier, this foundation I find applies better with a flat foundation brush. Maybe it just gives it a bit of a heavier coverage for me, and I think the damp beauty blender's okay, but still some of my hyperpigmentation is peeping through, and I normally get better coverage out of it on the nose. So I would definitely, if you're interested in this foundation, and it is very good, I would definitely put it on with a flat brush rather than a beauty blender. But I did that this morning because it's the quickest way to blend foundation in, and I was in a dreadful hurry, as you know. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I tell you what I'm going to quickly do. I'm going to do a transfer test, and I just need to get a tissue before I finish off. Okay, one second. I started doing this before I pressed record. So anyway, let's have a look. Now I'm doing it over this bit because obviously my nose is oily. And it's taken a little bit off because of the oil. But not too bad. Nothing there. Let me just try this side. Nothing there. So on my cheeks they don't tend to get oily, so let's just try my forehead. Nothing on my forehead. That bit was from my nose. Let me just try this bit here on my chin. No, nothing on my chin. So you can see it's very good, and it does set. And this eye has been watering a lot since I went out to the park to pick up Jack. So it does hold up quite well. The only issue I have with it is that when my eyes water, it stays on, but where I've put powder and foundation, it does make it start to feel quite dry because of the mixture of the powder and the foundation and the tears with salt in them. So that's the only issues. But what I tend to do is to dot some serum or some oil over my eyes. But before I go, that has reminded me, actually, I wanted to show you a tip that I discovered, and I'm just going to be right back. Beauty hack of the day. Okay, this is a variation on a tip that I learned from Beauty and the Boutique, which is about when your concealer starts to crease under your eyes, that you use jojoba oil, which you can see here is my very well loved bottle of organic jojoba oil. And the idea is that you press a very small amount onto your fingertips and you dab and dab and dab, and it stops your concealer from creasing. Correction, it uncreases your concealer when it's creased. Okay, and the other day I had a go at with a very finely milled powder baking under my eyes, and it was okay. It was just about okay, but I thought I'll put some jojoba oil on and it'll just take that dryness off so I don't look like I've got lots of lines underneath. And then I thought, why am I doing it like this? Because this is fiddly and there's a danger that you get too much on your eyes. So I thought, I'm going to rub it into my hands, and then I'm just going to press the heel of my hands underneath my eyes, because once I've rubbed it in, there's no danger of there being too much. And when I took my hands off, not only had it done a lovely job of not making my under eyes look really creasy and liney, but I noticed this glow. And so I just wanted to show you this today, because I think this really works, and I'm going to tell you in a minute once I've done it what else it's good for. So I'm taking 2 drops only of jojoba oil, right, and I'm now rubbing it in between the palms of my hand. So first of all, I'm going to make sure that I get some on the heel of my hand, and I'm just going to rest it underneath my eyes like that with my eyes shut, and just give my hands a wiggle like that. Okay, and that's going to make my eyes a bit more moisturised. But then what I did is I pressed it over my foundation. Don't forget, it's a tiny amount, just what you've rubbed in to your hands. Now what that does, apart from giving you a lovely glow, and I would suggest you do this straight after you've applied your foundation, what it does, apart from giving you a lovely glow, is something else, which I've also read about, and it worked. And that is that jojoba oil isn't really an oil. So if you've got oily skin or you've got combination skin, what happens is that your body is tricked into thinking, oh, I've got oily skin, I'll stop producing oil because I've got too much. And it stops your nose from getting oily throughout the day. It just works, and you look really glowy. So everywhere that's dry gets moisturised, and everywhere that is supposedly, you know, it gets oily throughout the day, actually doesn't. And I really wish I'd done that this morning, but you know, guys, I was in such a hurry, and literally all I'm doing is pressing it into my skin. What I'm going to do tomorrow on the Get Ready With Me is I'm going to remember to do that after I put my foundation on, so that you see, but I won't get this oily nose. It's also really good to put on at night before you go to sleep, because that will also control your oil overnight, but also moisturise you. So it's good for people with combination skin that get dry in certain areas and they get oily in other areas, because it will moisturise the areas that get dry, but it will control the oil in places that get oily. And I knew that. I knew all of that. But this tip, this is my invention. I've not seen anyone else. It's kind of, it's an improvisation on a theme of the Beauty and the Boutique one. So to do that to under your eyes to stop it creasing, that's definitely Beauty and the Boutique. But doing this and putting it around your entire face after your foundation, that's my tip. All right, so I'll do that tomorrow and you can see how much better everything lasts and how that oily T-zone gets controlled. And you just look at that, really, really glowy. Okay, so that's my beauty hack of the day. Okay, I will see you tomorrow when I will be doing the long awaited for golden goddess look. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. This foundation is fantastic. It's the only one really that holds up to watery eyes. Mind you, I have to say that Charlotte's new Magic Away does as well. But yeah, I'm very pleased. So take care. Hope you've enjoyed this. Any questions, please comment below and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.